Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Heaven Mozart. I am with Afrovibes Radio, here with Julie Gray. We're on the Aficionados show. And guess what? We're here at 1751 C and Bar. And we're here with Chef JD and also David, who's the director of beverage. We're here to talk about food. We're here to talk about seafood. We're here to try some food. We're here to talk about this beautiful restaurant, why it's the top seafood restaurant in Houston, Texas. So welcome to the show, everyone. David, JD, how are you guys doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
Good. Julie, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. So 1751. Where should we start? Should we start with some drinks? Should we start with some food? Or should we just talk about why the name 1751?
Let's start with the name, yeah, take it.
So it's named 1751 after the Gin Act of 1751, which is the second to last Gin Act that really helped mold gin into what we know it to be as a spirit category today. Prior to that, people were making bathtub gin, and anyone was producing it, and people were dying, and it was not regulated at all.
Yeah.
And so the Gin Act of 1751 regulated public consumption in London as well as production. You had to get a license directly from the Queen that said that you were allowed to distill, and it really regulated it to where now we have such a beautiful spirit category, and it's grown so much from there. And so, being we are the largest gin bar in Houston, we really wanted to focus on that, and gin and seafood just go so well together. So we've decided on the name 1751 to highlight the gin selection.
Amazing. I didn't know that.
I didn't know at all.
Gin and seafood go well together. Learn something new.
Is it Chef JD, you came up with that?
What's that?
Pairing gin and seafood.
Oh no, I mean, when I got hired, the gin program was already in place for sure. When I started, it was last November, and so they were still operating as Starfish. We didn't actually open as 1751 until April the following year.
April 2019?
Yeah, April 2019. And so that was, I think, that was one of the things that allowed us to get a pretty good jump because we had a lot of time to R&D to get focused and to take the food program exactly where we wanted to take it, before we made the brand change and reopen. So that was a nice experience. Usually it's like, get open, right?
Yeah. I see it as a lot of detail into the R&D that actually took place in regards to the food, and then obviously pairing it up with gin. So what would you say has been your experience? Obviously you've worked in different places. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you're a chef.
Yeah.
Professionally trained?
I didn't go to culinary school. I actually graduated from the Honors College at U of H with an English degree.
English?
Yeah, my mentor was none too pleased when I said I wasn't going to go on to the master's program. I was going to cook in a kitchen, right? But I started at the Rainbow Lodge, I think in 2009. The guy named Randy Rucker was there, and then from there, we just kind of moved around to some really cool spots. I was really lucky in the places that I've gotten to work with, and the guys I got to work for.
It seems like the Sam's Brook management companies is doing a lot of things really, really well, from whether it be pie pizza to Sam's fried chicken to 1751. How's your experience been working with them?
It's been really positive. You know what I mean? Those guys are all about quality. They're all about sourcing the right things and putting our best foot forward here as the kind of the flagship of Sam Brook's management. You know what I mean? So the pit room has great standards as far as that place goes too. And we just opened Candente, which is the Tex-Mex restaurant, and that one's up for Best New Restaurant.
Wow,
2019. So
congratulations!
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Wow. So you frequent that place too?
I do.
What about you, David?
All the time. Our office is over there, so I eat lunch at Candente probably 5 times a week.
Oh, wow.
If it's not Candente, it's the pit room.
Awesome.
Julie, what do you think? Food in Houston in general, it seems like Houston has a diversity of food.
There's a great foodie scene here, I think. As a woman myself, I love to get dressed up and go to eat, with my friends or go on a date or whatever it is, So I'm really excited to try some food and drinks that you guys have here for sure. And let everyone know who doesn't know about this place,
That's great.
So David, is there a particular focus? Most, I'm not a big, I don't know too much about gin, but that, forgive me, I drink, either cognac or brandy. So, I mean, how has it been, like, the gin market? Like, why don't you tell us a little bit about the gin market in general?
It's an exploding market. People are finding that they do really enjoy gin, and that gin isn't this, like, singular thing that everyone's known it to be. The Tanqueray, the Beefeaters, the Bombays, the super, like, piney forward gins aren't everything that gin is. There's so many different varieties of gin, so many different builds, flavor profiles, that it just really, like, makes it shine and makes it unique and different, and there's a gin for everybody, even if they think they don't like gin.
Wow, that's
I'm
amazing.
excited. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never tried gin before.
Wow.
I'm a first timer.
Before I came here, it's a real thing though. It's a real thing. Like before I came here, gin was something that I would take to parties in high school, so nobody would drink my booze.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Oh wow! So
It's
I'm
like
excited for
it's
that.
kind of like, you know, I don't know.
So what are we trying here?
All right, so this is going to be our
tea.
G&T time. So
and
this is
tea
our
time.
hot gin and tonic.
Oh, my goodness.
This uses a Bombay Sapphire,
Oh my God.
Domaine de Canton, which is a ginger liqueur. It's got an island tonic syrup in it, which is going to have a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of baking spice, and then a ginger citrus tea that is infusing into it right now, and then hot water and lemon twist on top.
Gin and tea.
May I?
We need this at the tea club.
Yeah. Salute.
It smells nice. It's a good
I
one.
know. Your pinkies up.
Wow. Oh, you'd be loaded on this.
Yeah, it might be one and done.
You'd be loaded on this. It's really, really good, by the way. It's
I love tea. This is really good.
it tastes like a refreshing
Yeah, it's so refreshing.
tea with the alcohol goes down really, really smooth. The lemon twist is brilliant in it. Obviously, with the tea comps, it's perfect. But it's a drink that will keep you warm and also get you a little buzz as well.
A lot buzz.
Yes, but this would go well down the food. I can see why people want to stay here longer.
This
So
is
David,
amazing.
very good. I know.
For the wintertime?
Did you create this drink?
So all of our bartenders kind of put together to build each of our menus, and we change the menu about every 3 months or so to kind of move with the seasons, and so make sure that everything is seasonal, everything fits what is fresh right now, so that we're keeping to the freshness that the kitchen does behind the bar as well. But this one is one that I really wanted to do. I wanted to do a hot toddy of sorts for the winter,
Yeah.
so, a warm drink when it's cold.
I love that.
Even if it's not always that cold in Houston.
What's the name of this drink again?
The G&T time.
G&T time. It's brilliant.
So if like I'm ever sick, this is the thing to drink?
Yeah.
It'd make me
For
feel
sure.
better? For sure, right? I know where to come now.
So Chef
I feel
JD,
more
have you
sniffly.
had this G?
I have, and usually when he's coming up with new stuff, and vice versa, we're always kind of having each other taste what the other's doing. So we really wanted to have a synergy between the bar program and the kitchen, right? So that there was definite things that you could pair with, or very deliberate pairings on the menu, right? And so that they also kind of fits with the seasons and how we're moving. There's the El Camote is on there. It's there's a root down on there, and it kind of reflects the root veg and kind of flavor profile that we were going through. What we're going for, through the end of autumn and into the beginning of winter. So we're coming up on spring, and so I'm sure there's going to be another movement here
So
pretty soon.
The new cocktail menu should be coming out in about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Exciting.
And David, like, where do you get these ideas from? You just like sit down and just, I'm gonna put gin inside hot tea. Where? Like,
I mean, basically, I go through and I look at what's in season. I look at what's fresh. I look at what styles of cocktails I want to do. So this one started again as like a hot toddy, but I wanted to do something that was gin forward. And so this really it was a way to use a couple of products that I was looking to use that I had brought in prior that I had tasted and really enjoyed, and this was a way to actually put it into a cocktail that could be really well enjoyed, and it fit the hot toddy feel that I
love
wanted
that.
for the winter.
This is definitely a hot toddy.
I mean, obviously, you guys are known for obviously seafood, your raw bar. I mean, how is getting that message? How effective has it been? I mean, is it, because obviously you're in the Heights, there's so many other restaurants, you have the Japanese restaurants opening up different sushi bars. How is it that, how can we get more people, or what's your formula to get more people to understand, like, this is a place where you should. I mean, obviously we can't have, like, you know, the whole entire Houston here in one day, but the goal is to get people to come in, have a drink like this, take advantage of the bar. Like, what's the reception been like?
I feel like we've had a lot of word of mouth, you know, we've had a lot of word of mouth business. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the best way to go, you know. People come in, we've developed regulars, those regulars bring in their friends, those friends become regulars, you know what I mean? So there's been it's really nice to be able to have that kind of, you know, loyal and kind of focused following, right? You know, we've done some things with the happy hour menu. It's brought in, you know, people have been really enjoying too. They're very small bites, you know, at a very affordable price, paired with very affordable cocktails. And,
yeah.
you know,
It's a beautiful
and
space.
oysters. So
It is.
It's a beautiful space, and the ambiance is really nice in here. What is this?
So this is a little more, this is kind of one of our other really interesting cocktails. So this is called a porthole. And what it is a on-table infuser. So there's a cocktail built into it that has gin, vermouth, a little bit of liqueur. It's got some maple syrup in it. And then in the porthole itself, there are pears, lemon, orange, basil, cinnamon, and then a red rooibos tea. And then what it does is you'll kind of taste it right at first, and then as we kind of go through, every about 15 minutes or so, we'll pour off a little bit more, and it will continue to change and evolve over the period of about an hour is what we go for.
it's really fun.
And what's the name again?
We just call it the porthole.
The porthole. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the porthole at 1751.
How is it?
You guys should be legal.
Okay,
This is-
wait, we didn't cheers today.
Cheers, it's really good.
Cheers. So you sip this.
Yeah, so those it's
Not
kind
like
of
a
you do.
shot, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
those
you can
kind of-
shoot it. You can shoot anything.
I
man.
don't think I need to shoot any of this. Yeah, I'm gonna be back in the back working with you.
Right?
So yeah, we'll start with that little taste right at first. About 15 minutes from now, we'll pour over, or we'll change it out for a new taste. That'll be a little more. It'll just have changed just enough that you kind of notice that the cheese kind of shines, the citrus starts to come through, and then in about 30 minutes, the cinnamon will start to shine. 45 minutes, the pears really come out, and then an hour, it all kind of melts back together into this really nice, like, balanced finishing product.
That's interesting. It's delicious. And what is this we have here?
This is our ultra ahi tuna carpaccio. And so we've taken ultra ahi tuna. We fly it in from Honolulu Seafood Company. Out of the entire Hawaiian ahi tuna catch, only about 2% grades out this high.
Oh wow.
So it has to do with fat content and color and mouthfeel and, you know, all kinds of different variables. We do it with a little bit of ponzu. There's micro wasabi on top, black and white sesame seeds, molten sea salt, and yuzu oil.
Okay, I'm ready to try this. You ready? Let's dive in.
Well, how come the Chef JD and David are not eating? They're not drinking.
I know, it's just for us.
didn't
You
bring
guys
me
aren't
any
No,
joining us.
I'm already messed up.
I know.
I'm trying to stay
Just sipping
sober.
it over here.
I'll let you try it, Julie, first.
So, is it just one piece like this?
No, it's pounded together, so you should be able to pull it apart pretty easily. Yeah, just pull it there.
Oh, wait, oh,
And then just kind of make a little taco.
just like roll it?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Alright. Like this?
Sure.
Okay, here I go.
It's also got a bit of miso egg yolk that's in there as well. Give it a little bit of salty pop. Yeah, it's nice and fun.
Oh, that's delicious.
But mainly it's just
Uh-oh.
it's getting really nice tuna and trying not to mess it up.
Oh, that's delicious.
So let's talk about, sustainability and also food. I mean, I just think it'd be wrong not to mention, obviously, Asia right now, with some of the things that's currently going on in Asia. Obviously, we know there's a lot of people currently infected with the virus. We also know that they're also a big, exporter
Yeah.
of food and also products to the United States. But it seems like you guys seem to have that in the clear.
I mean, most of the stuff that we do, we
Right.
try to move towards a sustainable option, right? Because as a buyer of a lot of seafood, planning for sustainability and planning as a result, like who are we going to buy from, where are they buying it from? We can make quite an impact, I think,
Yes.
just because of how much stuff we're buying. And so it's definitely a framework that we've been kind of working on since we opened. So it's like kind of like a decision tree. Like I want to bring this in. Like who am I going to buy it from? Where do they buy it from? Is the original source concerned about how their impact is on the ocean and things like that? Because there are a lot of species that are stressed, and there is a lot of issue with pollution in different areas of different oceans. And so, I mean, trying to contribute as little to that as possible is important to us.
Well, I mean, is it important for more? Pardon me. 1 second. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with 1751. David is here, Director of Beverages, and Chef JD, Julie Gray as well. My name is Heaven Mozart. This is the Aficionados show on Afrovibes Radio. Take a 1-minute break and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Heaven Mozart, we're back on the Aficionados show. I'm here with Julie Gray, Chef JD, and also David, Director of Beverages. And we're here talking about 1751 Sea and Bar, Houston's top seafood restaurant. And we're looking at different dishes, tasting different drinks. It's famous for its gin bar, its back bar, and also its raw seafood as well. So I need everyone to follow 1751. I need you to come over here. I need your support. Let's get back to the show. So what's the name of this platter, Chef?
This is our 1751 Charcuterie Board. Obviously, it's seafood based, right? So there's lots of different things to try. It's kind of interactive. You can kind of mix and match different things, but it's all either cured, preserved, or smoked. This one is our house gravlax, and we cure it with dill and gin and boquerones, or white anchovies with grapefruit segments. This is our house tuna pastrami. So we basically take tuna and treat it just like pastrami. We cure it, rub it with spice, smoke it.
Okay,
really nice.
Wait a second. You do that in here?
We do that here.
Oh,
Yes,
wow. I'm excited to try that.
House pickles, obviously.
House
we buy
pickles.
This is our rye bread. We actually buy this from Cake and Bacon. They're a great bread maker here in town. I've used them all over the place. This is ahi tuna andouille. So andouille is traditionally a Sicilian pork charcuterie that's kind of spreadable. But we use tuna and calabrese peppers and kind of spice it the same way and make it. This is a curried whitefish dip. So there's a little bit of flounder, there's redfish, all kind of mixed together to make a really nice curried dip. There's green apples on top of that one. This is a conserva. That's a very traditional way to conserve seafood. Usually they do tuna and stuff like that. But we use scallop and olive oil, so that one's really nice. Pesto mussels are mussels that are barely opened, and then we pickle them in a pickling solution, and then toss them in a pesto, which is kind of like almost like a pesto.
So if you do, 90%, it sounds like 90% of the items on this platter are done in-house. Mm-hmm. How many hours a week do you work, Chef JD?
I have a very dedicated crew who we wouldn't be able to put this stuff out without.
This is not a traditional restaurant. This is not like show up to work, punch in the clock.
Right. Yeah.
This is like we're making food, we're making drinks, we're creating. Right. So this is art.
It's definitely a craft, at least.
Yes.
I mean, it is. I mean,
but we're not opening bags and thawing stuff out, right? I mean, it's all here. It's in house. It's fresh. It's ready to rock.
If you
don't mind, I will try one of these ones.
Go for it.
Let's try this. Went ahead and went in on this. Let's see. You tried this one first. Let's see.
There's a little bit of smoked olive oil on top of there too.
Food.
What was that again?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am
The tuna pastrami.
I am not shitting you. The food is amazing here. So I mean, obviously the focus is on seafood. Do you think seafood is is seafood the best way to go? outside of like the beefs, the cows, the chickens?
I mean, I think it's just a different way. I mean, there are people that go out and eat steak, but seafood has its home, and especially in like a city like Houston, we're so close to an ocean. Seafood is a big thing here in Texas, and so like being able to have a really nice seafood restaurant that does really unique and interesting dishes, and it's always like fresh and new. It's really important area that honestly kind of started to dwindle in the city for a little while.
Let me try this one.
We have, we haven't abandoned land animals altogether either. I mean, there's some. Our ribeye is probably the best ribeye I've ever tasted.
Really?
I've put that ribeye. When I first got hired, I was like, well, we buy a Neiman Ranch prime ribeye. I started working with lots of different beef before, and so I put that up against at least 4 or 5 top producers of beef, and I side by sided them with the rep, and probably 3 out of 4 times the rep picked ours instead of theirs.
Wow.
Because and it's one of the, I mean, for me it's one of the best pieces of meat in the city. Like it's unbelievable. The Wagyu beef once again comes from Japan. It's A5 Miyazaki Wagyu.
Now, how do you secure things like that? I'm sure there's some gins that you have that you can't probably get nowhere else but here.
We have a couple. One in particular is kind of a low production item. There are only like 928 of them made, and so we have that bottle, and there's, I believe, only like 2 other places in the city that carry it.
And then how do you secure like Wagyu beef in Japan? Like, does somebody actually go out to Japan and talk to the person?
You just have to keep on talking to these guys and building relationships with them and asking them, hey man, what about this? Hey man, what about this? Oh, maybe we have that coming down the pipe. Okay, if you know somebody, let me know. It's just networking these guys back and forth. And like I said, that's the other aspect of the business that's super important too. Is our vendors and our purveyors. All the guys that I've worked with, we've worked with almost since the beginning, and so I mean those relationships allow you to put the best thing on the plate, I think.
I could tell that the food is extremely fresh.
Yeah, for sure.
Like do you guys, to maintain a palate, I'm sure it was, to maintain a kitchen full of fresh food that you're making, does that fluctuate in the price?
We try not to fluctuate in the price too much. I mean, the price will change based on the species of fish. Maybe if you go from flounder to halibut or something like that. But the philosophy of ordering here is order light and order often. Right. Order light. So we're not bringing in all the fish on Monday, obviously, because then there'll be a decided difference between the quality on Monday and the quality on Friday. Right. When it's busy.
Right.
So for the most part, we order whole fish and we cut them all in house. In order to utilize as much of the fish as we possibly can, and also in order to maintain the quality, right? You bring in a whole fish, you can see the gills, you can see the eyes. It's not coming in a frozen box or a bag of fillets, and you have no idea what it was. So it's very important.
Oh my God, this is amazing. With the caviar, you need to try that one.
I don't know. I've tried a little bit of everything while you guys were talking because I'm here to eat, really.
Smoked trout roll on top of that one. Yeah.
This one?
So the graubox isn't smoked; it's just cured, and so
it's amazing.
In order to get that kind of smokiness in there, we use that smoked trout roll. It's really nice.
So what's been the audience that comes in here? Because I will be honest with you, I'm a foodie, but not a foodie like you and David. I could tell that this is eating at an artisan level. This is not eating like I'm not eating a hamburger here. This is like real food, and it's focused on taste, it's focused on texture, it's focused on a variety of different flavors, and this is all stuff that you have to come up with. We're not reinventing the wheel with Gravlux, right? We're just trying to execute it the way it needs to be executed. And that's I think that's the difference, And adding the gin wash and stuff like that just kind of pulls those traditional things back towards our concept a little bit, and gives it a little bit of a skew towards what our vision is, as opposed to what the classic idea was. You guys add new items like you said, new items every season?
Every season there's definitely new items. Yeah, the menu is going to flip, and there's some things that are going to stay because, here in Houston it's not really as you can grow anything pretty much year round here because it's so temperate, you know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, we like to try to reflect the season with the menu for sure. And so those kind of outline things, those dishes that are very focused on seasonality, like the salmon we do, it's the plate is all salmon and all root veg, right? And so that'll change going into the spring to a different set, right? We might use salmon still, but we might just change the plate setup so that it's more seasonal.
Why do you think people just love 1751? Like, what is it? I mean, I could tell, but what is it that just brings them back? Is it the caviar?
This food is delicious. That's why.
I know, but it's,
I mean, I think it's several different things. I think it's the service. I think it's the attention that we pay to detail with regard to who's coming in, who's coming back. And really trying to make people feel at home. And deliver a great product without being too pretentious about it. It's the warmth of the bar program and how people gravitate towards that, and new takes on like I said, like a spirit that was kind of like thought of as an outlier for a long time, and bringing them back into that whole idea and showing them something that was always been around, right, but they didn't realize it.
Right. Yeah. This is amazing. Everything on this board so far that I've tried is amazing.
And then, with the food, like I said, we just try to be honest. Like I said, I'm really not kidding. Like, I just try to bring in the best thing that I can and not screw it up. So.
Yeah, no, it's delicious. What's your favorite thing on the board?
My favorite thing on the board? I love the Tuna Pastrami.
This was amazing.
I love the current redfish dip.
It's probably my favorite right here.
Yeah.
Which one?
You need to try this. The dip. I don't know. I put it on bread. Are you serious?
And David, you
This
just
is
brought us.
matzo cracker.
Oh, so do you,
And David,
how do
you just brought us-
dip it into
Just
there?
dip it in there, yeah.
The
'Cause
drinks.
that bread is
So I
phenomenal.
just did the next pour of the porthole. So this will be the first 15-minute pour on it. You'll notice it's already kind of changed color a little bit. The first round was a little bit lighter. This one's got a little more of a brown hue to it. The tea is going to really shine on this round. And so
And what is that? This
that's the tea. It
the
comes
tea.
through a little bit.
It was good. I tasted that.
Wow. So when they serve this, the porter, do they bring it in like a bucket or something? Or because you're saying that it changes every 15 minutes.
Right, so this just goes to the table. This sits
Okay.
on the table, and then the server goes by and just does a little bit of a pour every 15 minutes or so in order to help guide the guest on like how to taste and how to work with this cocktail, as it's something that not a whole lot of people do or know about. It's kind of a unique thing that was created by one of the leading bars in the world in Chicago. And so it's just it's fun to show people something that we do behind the bar so commonly with infusion, but it happens at the table, and you can see how much things can change in as minimal as an hour.
Were you part of the founding members of this of 1751?
So I actually worked for Starfish before the Sam Brooks bought Starfish and took it over, and so I had started to build the gin program there. I've gotten to expand it immensely since Sam Brooks has taken over.
Yeah.
So when they came on, I had about 70 gins. Now I've got 160.
Oh wow, double.
So
More.
yeah, a little over double the number of gins. It's a well curated selection, a little bit of everything for everyone. Classics for also like newer age, new Western style gins that are kind of unique and interesting and different.
Are we biggest in Texas?
I'm not positive, but I believe so. I don't
60.
personally
That's a
know.
lot of gins, man.
I don't personally know of another gin bar.
Right, me neither.
Oh my god! And this is called the curry
whitefish dip.
Oh my god!
I know.
The curry whitefish dip is to die for. It's amazing. You have a new drink here?
I do. So this is going to be just our house gin martini.
Presentations
We
was
do
I
a little
let
bit.
Julie try that.
So this one's going to be a lot more of just a traditional gin martini. Gin, dry vermouth, orange bitters, lemon twist, stirred down till it's perfectly cold. And then we serve it in a chilled glass. But you'll notice that our martini glasses are a lot smaller than places that you go, and you get those huge glasses. So the reason we did this is because if you're sipping and enjoying a martini, you either have to pound it in order to so it's not warm. But this way, you can take and you can sip your martini, and then the second half of your martini is on ice, so it's just as cold as when it came
So
out.
you sip back and forth?
Well, so you sip down to the glass, and once the glass starts getting empty, you pull the side out and put it into the glass, and that way it's as cold as when you first got it.
Interesting. I didn't know. See? You go back and forth? No. Okay.
Julie, I'll let you try that.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Details.
Here we go. That's good. Smooth.
You're going to be drunk
I
at the end of the
know.
show.
Because I told Chef I'm going to be in the back tonight. I'm be the sous chef tonight. That's good.
What do you like about it?
It's refreshing too. Everything is gin just a refreshing.
It is. I mean, so gin is really it is a infused vodka to an
Yeah.
extent. You basically take a neutral
And it's
spirit
clean.
similar to vodka, and then you add botanicals to it. The main botanical in gin is, of course, juniper. It must be present, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Okay.
And then you can do any number of other botanicals in order to create the flavor profile that you really want to go for. We have gins that taste like eucalyptus and mint. We have a gin that tastes like grapefruit and elderflower. We've got one that's like big rose, a couple that are like big orange. So there's just so many different ways you can go, and they all end up very, very refreshing because it's light, it's easy drinking, it's about 80% of the time a clear spirit, but there are like barrel-aged gins, so like a cognac drinker. There we have a gin that's actually made by a cognac company, and it's barrel aged in their cognac barrels.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Obviously, March, February, Valentine's Day just ended. We're going into March. What can we expect from 1751? Are you guys doing any themes? Obviously, I'm not sure, Chef JD, David, if you're a big sports fan, March Madness, obviously. But, I don't know what. I just moved to Houston about 2 years ago, so I'm not sure what. Okay, well, rodeo. I think rodeo's in March.
So rodeo's a big one in March.
Yeah, for sure.
We usually
Do you guys do cookout?
We do not.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive to actually get one of those tents and
It is.
have the
Yeah.
sponsors and everything in it, and we really like focusing on our restaurants like as they are in the locations that they're at, and getting people in before they go to rodeo to have our barbecue.
Will you guys do something special for March?
I mean, I think a little bit of everything that we do is honestly kind of special in its own right, and so it doesn't take a whole lot for it to be more unique and focused on that, because with March we're moving into the spring again for Houston, and so we'll move towards more spring forward dishes, spring forward cocktails, brighter, like bright refreshing flavors rather than your baking spices and your deep roots.
So you guys will be changing the menu.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So it's like a rotating menu. It just changes as seasons
it'll
go.
change. It'll change for the seasons. We'll have an autumn, winter, and then we'll have we'll transition from winter into spring, and then
Summer.
transition to summer as well. So
Awesome.
and that keeps it fresh also, right?
Yeah.
Because you can come in and the size of the menu is
No,
you shoot
it down. Well, you should try.
I'm already drunk. I'm already drunk. I don't know, I got so much flavor. I got caviar in my mouth, salmon in my mouth, tuna in my mouth, curry.
It's so good.
This one's one of my favorites, man.
It's definitely
Yeah,
my
you
favorite.
guys
I could just eat that
My
on a
sous chef's
sandwich,
name is
but-
Cody Dyer, and he came to me one day and he's like, "Hey, check this out." And I tasted it. I was like, "Well, that's going on the charcuterie board
Yeah,
for
no,
sure."
it's amazing.
I mean, it's
You guys
super
should bottle that up and sell it.
I know. I
Right?
could just make a sandwich out of that.
Yeah.
Just,
A tuna sandwich.
yeah.
So I know you guys have to open up soon, right? So I'm sure.
Say we're opening up for about 5.
Oh, 5. Okay, good.
Yeah. So we've got a little while.
Okay, brilliant. And then what else do we have over here?
Have you tried this? This is really,
No, I
really
didn't
good.
try that.
Yeah, you have to try everything.
When we first put that out, we called it pickled mussels.
Pickled mussel.
I think that freaks some people out because they're like, pickled mussels? I'm not ordering that.
So good.
It's delicious.
As soon as we
though.
changed the name to peace stew mussels, we sold, probably 50% more.
Try that. Just salad. How do you eat this? You just
Yeah, just
dive in?
put it on some bread or put it on a cracker and eat it.
This bread
There's all
is
kinds of
amazing,
different
too.
flavors in there. There's calabrese peppers, oregano, chorizo,
Hold on.
preserved lemon zest,
Put it on
preserved
the
lemon
bread?
zest. So I mean, it comes out really
Give me a
nice.
second. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a second break. My name is Evan Mozart. This is the Aficionados show. We're at 1751 C and Bar. I'm here with David, Chef JD, Julie Gray, and we're talking about seafood. We're talking about gin. We're trying delicious food. You don't want to miss 1751. Trust me, any occasion, wedding, birthday party, you're just hungry. The food is amazing. The drinks are amazing. Trust me, you get pointers all day long. All right, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, you're back on the Aficionados show on Afrovibes Radio. My name is Evan Mozart. I'm here with Julie Gray, and I'm here with Chef JD and also David, and we're at 7051 Sea and Bar. We're talking about seafood, we're talking about great food, and we're talking about gin drinks. And to be honest with you, I'm really, really impressed. There's a new drink. What's the name of this drink?
It's called the Florida Man.
The
Florida Man.
Okay, so before I try it, why don't you give me a heads up? Like,
So it's when you think Florida, you know, oranges is a big one.
Yeah.
So it's a very orange-forward cocktail. It's got orange juice and orange syrup and egg white, which creates that foam on top. And
That's
so
the egg
it also
white.
makes it creamy. It's not something that you always think of like when drinking
it's
cocktails.
like a creamy eggnog orange juice.
Not quite. So it's a different type. Like when there's no cream in it, so the egg white just gives it this texture element that you can only get through certain ingredients like egg white.
That's
Yeah.
what I was supposed to say. It's like a dreamsicle because I love dreamsicles.
I say it
That
doesn't
might
have
be
the
my
vanilla
drink
aspect, but
nightmare.
it's
Right.
very,
No,
very
you wanna
close.
try it?
But
No,
yeah,
you
big
go
bowl of
first.
orange.
Smell?
Smells amazing. Let me smell it.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
Oh wow.
Everything smells amazing.
I
Tastes.
know.
You're gonna get people messed up. The drink is amazing.
The drinks are
Tastes like
strong.
candy.
It's a texture thing too.
Yeah, and
it's so
I'm
velvety,
gonna try
right?
it.
Yeah, and then, that's what I was wondering about. Like, it seems like when you're dealing with a chef, like a really good chef, there's a lot of textures and a lot of flavors, and it seems like you guys apply the whole entire formula to not only the drinks but also to the food.
I think that's what people that have been in the bar industry for the last a while have been applying those kind of techniques to
Yeah, I mean,
to craft cocktails. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just
craft started exploding in like the late 80s, early 90s, and it's only gotten bigger and bigger and more interesting, and new techniques and new ingredients that people are using to create different textures in cocktails, like gum syrups, and egg whites have become a really common one in craft cocktail. Different tools like reverse circulators in order to create ice spheres that you can put a cocktail inside of. So it's just it's exploded in the way that like there's so many new things always going on that it just always keeps your guests intrigued and looking at something that is not what they're commonly used to. It's not your average Jack and Coke. It's not even like a Long Island, which has some ingredients to it. It takes a little bit of building, but it's more interesting and it's everything is unique.
What'd you like about it, Julie?
This is my kind of drink. This is probably my fan favorite right here. For me as a girl, as a woman, it's not as strong, but like you said, it's easy to drink. It's definitely the texture thing with the egg whites. Yeah, but it's delicious altogether. This is easy to drink. This is dangerous though, because it's so easy to drink.
Because that and the martini have about the same amount of alcohol.
Yeah. But this, it's amazing though. It's delicious.
You guys are open what? 365 days a year?
363.
something like that. Yeah, I mean, there's
What days are the holidays? What days? Oh, Christmas Day?
Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Christmas.
We like
Yeah,
to-
Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day. We're gonna have talks about July 4th.
Yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah, getting it off?
Yeah.
I mean, we like to give our employees, time with their families too. They give us so much, so we like giving back to them in that way that they can spend time, outside of the restaurant on big holidays that people that have worked in this industry for so long know that you don't always get.
That's true.
There's a lot of work that goes in, and I mean,
I could tell, like,
and you
making
have to,
food
like, it
from
just,
scratch.
yeah, I mean, it's just built in,
Yeah.
And it's not just here. It's all the way across the company. I mean, the pit room is open. They never close. They don't do just it's not
never
just
close,
it's
they
not
open.
just it's not just lunch. It's lunch and dinner, right?
Okay, got it. That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those pits are going 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
24 hours a day those pits are going, and they're still going to run out at some point in the night. You know what I mean? On any given day, right? So I mean,
So I
there's
guess
there's a
the-
lot of work. I mean, the guys who are like the overnight pit dudes. You know what I mean? Like they're just sitting there at 4 a.m. right?
I guess that's a double-edged sword where you say, like, because your food is so good, the service is so good, people now want it, like the pit room, which we should talk about doing like a review for, but like the pit room is like, well, first it was dinner, now it's dinner and what, lunch?
I think it started off lunch, which is the barbecue format. Usually like lunch.
Now it's
And then
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
when they run out, they run out, right? And so, but like They made the decision to be like, look, we're going to be open for lunch and dinner, and we're going to, like I said, well, but what that takes is, well, the smoker's got to be going 24 hours a day, so that's what they did. So I think that's admirable.
And in Houston. So 1751, can we expect another one in Austin, another one in Dallas? I mean, can we expect more in Houston? Can we get one, like in the Galleria, River Oaks?
We were just having a conversation about this last night at the end of the shift. And the question is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's a singular concept. I don't know if opening another 1751 in Houston is the right way to go. And then you got to think where's the market at? I mean, Austin is full of great restaurants. You might think it might be a better fit in a place like San Antonio. You know what I mean, or Denver. It's just going to be a lot of research going into that decision, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But with your accolades and with your in-house team, I see there needs to be at least another one. Maybe like this one's fairly big. How many people sitting here? 300?
I think our max capacity is about 180.
Oh, 180. Okay, cool.
Is that before the patio?
I was cutting chairs. There's 100
Club
here.
1751.
So if the patio is full, probably about 200.
Okay. And the patio's out that way.
That way.
I think it's easy. The food and the drinks are amazing, and I don't know too many restaurants, whether it be Japanese sushi restaurants or just authentic Houston restaurants that are crafting gin drinks, crafting their own pickles, their own curry tuna spread. I really don't know too many restaurants that are doing that, and I think the problem is the problem I see is that people don't respect food. That's because they're not educated about it. Like the two of you just gave me an education on alcohol, and you gave me an education on food. That's what I learned.
Yes.
I learned that you don't have to. You can use. I thought egg whites were just hold the yolk, give me egg whites on my bagel.
Right.
Shout out to Einstein Bagel.
Egg white omelet.
Yeah. That's what I thought. But it's like I got egg whites on a drink with orange juice. I didn't even know it was possible to have orange and egg.
So this is an interesting transition because we're going to do something else that's totally different. It's just super cool with egg whites. It's the dessert. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll come back to it. You know what I mean?
You see,
when the dessert comes out.
And I think a bigger location that basically, I think this is a quiet kept secret. As I see something, I see this is amazing. Why? This is my new favorite restaurant. In my opinion, on the show, I'm giving you guys 5 stars.
Awesome.
For drinks, for service, hospitality. I can hear the burners are going right now. I can smell the food being cooked. I'm going to give you guys 5 stars. So flat out, you're my go-to restaurant.
I haven't even had dessert yet.
I haven't. They had me at what was it? What was the first?
We've got one more hot dish coming out, and then
The
dessert's
tea.
coming too.
The
tea?
tea.
I said the tea.
So right where we started. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, my favorite are salads too. I'm excited about this. And what are you putting on here?
This is churro.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, scallop.
Chef
JD, and that's dessert. This is the Aficionados show. Review for 1751. You heard it here. It's 5 stars all the way. Drinks 5 stars. Food 5 stars. Dessert, I'll let you know. But Julie,
I'm ready.
yeah, you try it.
I wish I hadn't brought this out right away, but anyways. So what we got here is we got U10 scallops, and so these are, like I said, U10 means that for every pound there's 10 pounds of scallops. So they're large. You know what I mean? We give 4. Lots of places only give 3. We've done a melted leek and Belgian endive kind of salad underneath with bacon. And then the sauce is a smoked cipollini velouté.
I'm excited about this.
So nice velvety, smoky tones with that sauce.
Oh no.
And we got some red alert. We're gonna have to
We set this place on fire.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break. The food is so good, we set the place on fire.
Set the place on fire.
That's right. So we'll be right back We're at 1751 C and Bar. My name is Evan Mozart. I'm here with Julie. Julie, say your name, Mother.
Julie Gray.
This is JG.
JJ.
And H-Ad. That's right, Aficionado, Afrovibes Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Heaven Mozart with Julie Gray on the Aficionado show on Afrovibes Radio. We're at 1751. That's right, we changed the locations. We just moved to the outside patio, so you can eat indoors or you can be outside. And that's right, if you want a little bit of fresh air. We've tried everything, well, not everything. We tried some good stuff and we were impressed. And like I said, it's 5 stars all the way around, but Chef JD and David decided to give us some more stuff. So this is the
Seared scallops.
seared scallops, and this is the
This is our citrus pavlova.
citrus.
Citrus pavlova. So our pastry chef's name is Allison Fisher, and she's up for one of the Tastemaker Awards for Best Pastry Chef in the city. And she made this one. So basically, it's a meringue that's been whipped, shaped, and then baked. And then she fills it with a lemon curd, and then takes the segments from all kinds of different citrus fruits: Meyer lemons, pink lemons, grapefruit, blood oranges, red oranges, and then does a scoop of ice cream on top with candied kumquats, and then finishes it with a nasturtium leaf, which adds a really cool herby, like peppery note that would seem out of place, but it fits really, really well.
Once again, textures,
Right.
flavors.
And once again, this is another cool egg white thing we talked about before, so it's just really, it's fun.
Julie, want to try the scallops?
Scallops are my favorite. So if I go to a restaurant, there's scallops on the menu. Most
Scallops are my
likely,
favorite, too.
I am
So
going to order
So
them.
Chef JD, what's underneath it?
So underneath that is a
So
little
go for the
salad
big bite.
of melted leeks and Belgian endive and bacon. And then the sauce is a smoked cipollini bellate.
Can I have this half?
Good.
No, I'm not sharing.
No, you can have the rest. I just want to try this one.
The smoked onion really quick.
I
Really
know,
brings
I need to
everything
get
out.
something
It's
underneath
really,
over there.
really nice.
You guys are bad.
Wow.
Do we do to go?
No.
We do a little bit to go. We will communicate with everyone about like what dishes don't really travel well. We do have a couple items that like our chawushi that it can't be replated. It can't be put to go. Once it's to go, it doesn't really settle right.
Most things are good to go. Fish is good to go. You know, I wouldn't really feel comfortable selling mussels to go. You know what I mean? Like things like that. We don't really have control over what goes. What happens like really sits in your car for half an hour, you know, before you eat it.
That's true.
Right? But you know.
I say so. I mean, in all honesty, like for the best quality and like what we envision these for, eating in house is definitely the best option. But we do some to go.
Yeah, we're not going to turn down.
Yeah, like we won't tell you no, but we recommend it.
Yeah, you want to enjoy the whole entire experience.
I'm
And the
coming
service
back
is
to
like this. This is like the service is always like this, right? Like
Yeah, for
the
sure.
guys are bringing the teacups and pinkies out, the martinis, and
That's the other thing is ordering to go. You can't get the drinks.
well, that's true.
Right?
You need the drink.
It's phenomenal.
I
So
know.
you know, I
Should I try this
Some of
one?
the
I
best.
think you should, yeah. Just
scallops just
Break
dive
right into it.
in the middle.
I would just break right into it and get a piece. Try to get all the
Ooh.
components. Definitely get one of the nasturtium leaves in
Oh,
there.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go out.
What is
Oh
that
my
one?
gosh, wait, hold
Is that
on.
grape?
I'm just touching everything.
There's grapefruit in there. There's
Orange?
oranges, lemons. You want to get some of that. You want to get some of that meringue also.
I'm making a mess. This is
Allison came on shortly after we reopened. And it's really helped us kind of round out the menu.
I would
I mean,
never imagine me like
you're not going to be mad if that's your last bite, right, of the evening. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! No,
I didn't
I didn't expect that.
know. I didn't think it would taste like that. I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah, I didn't expect oranges
That
inside
is
of it.
delicious.
Yeah.
And
Fresh,
grape,
tart,
and it's fresh.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So very dreamsically.
I don't know. Can you go back and forth on this? Amazing. Everything was delicious.
On that note,
Yes.
unfortunately, we have to go, and I can't say this enough. 1751 is by far one of the finest restaurants I've been with. Chef JD, David, and Julie, they've all been amazing. Thank you, Chef JD, for hosting
Thank
us.
you guys
Thank you,
so
David.
much.
Thank you, 1751.
Yes.
I learned a lot about food. I learned a lot about texture and taste. I learned a lot about sourcing. I learned a lot about gin. And I learned like this is probably my favorite restaurant in Houston right now. So I tried everything, and I can say that I Loved every single piece. More than I was expecting to have a great service and great food, but I'm completely blown away. So I'd like to advise everybody to definitely pull up on
Definitely
1751. Please say Afrovibes Radio, the Aficionados show, or Julie Gray or Heaven Mozart, so they know that you saw this. You definitely don't want to miss out on 1751. Try everything.
Everything.
Julie, want to say anything?
Just leave me here. I'll be here. You guys can find me here. I'll get in the back.
Oh God, guys, sorry, you have to try. You have to try this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The Aficionados, try it. Well, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you.
so much. This was so
I'll pour you. We'll set up. We'll set up the
on.
pit room.
Yeah.
Talk barbecue and stuff. I really like what Sam Brooks has done from the Sam's Fried Chicken to 1751. So now it's like I have to see Cadente, and I have to see pie pizza, and I have to see the pit room.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
So do we have honorary membership? We can come anytime we want.
Oh yeah, man.
This is
Can we
amazing.
just get a
I'm
little
back for this
side table? There's Afrovibes table. You know, come back anytime and eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just let me know you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
For
So
sure.
you got my number, shoot me a text, let me know you're on the way. I'll make sure that they have a nice table set up for you.
Thank you. And you're here 7 days?
I am here usually Tuesday through Saturday. Sometimes Monday through Saturday.
Yeah,
Good
hard
day,
working,
love.
but it's worth it. This is amazing. You guys have done a phenomenal job here.
Look at the way I like making scallops, and it's like, why can't my scallop? Why can't mine taste like this? Right, you want to give me a clue? What do I need to do?
Just gotta,
Everything.
you just gotta, you make sure they're dry.
Do I boil it first?
No.
No, don't ever boil it.
You want to take them from raw and make sure they're dry. Don't add too much salt.
So what if I buy
That's
like
what
the
it's
icy
dry.
pack? If I did
You
the cheaper,
can buy the icy pack and just kind of let them sit out in your fridge overnight,
okay,
and let them sit there so they dry out a little bit. Because that's where you're gonna get that nice sear.
gotcha.
Just in a hot pan with a little
Little oil.
one side, flip it over. Don't overcook it. It should be medium rare. Those are about medium rare. You know.
So good.
I'm with them. I just love scallops.
Yeah, they're so good. But ladies and gentlemen, Aficionados show on Afrovibes Radio. Julie Gray, Heaven Mozart, Chef JD, and David. We're saying bye. Make sure that you tune in. Tune in. That's right. Have a good day. And be at 1751 every day of the week.